So Sandy calls herself a professional problem solver. And so, listening to what you've been talking about, Sandy, I'm wondering if all this homeschooling is what led you to be a problem solver, or was it the business that you were in? And because I realize that the business you're in now is not the business you were in then. So, can you kind of give us some background on all that?
And you're exactly right. I think that force of necessity, I had to learn to solve problems as both a homeschooler and a homeschooler working from home at the same time with a home-based business. There were a whole lot of challenges. And I came into it out of a classroom. I was a fourth grade teacher for 6 years before I started my family. And then I moved into homeschooling. And while at the same time, we were starting up a screen printing business, which then became an embroidery business, which then also added promotional products. And I think being challenged to learn all kinds of platforms, and then getting into marketing and websites. And all of a sudden, I had to know a whole lot of things and keep it all together and balanced and serve my clients the best I could. One of my mantras all along was to tell people yes and then figure out afterwards how to do it. So if they asked me, can you help me with getting mugs and pens? And this was before we were doing that. I said, sure. And then I went and figured it out. So as a teacher, I absolutely love training and learning. I'm also a lifelong student. But, when you teach, you're trying to figure out the best way to convey the information to people in a way they'll understand it and get it and truly learn it. So I think that's problem solving all by itself. But I also just have a knack for looking at something and saying, I think if we did it this way, it might run a little better. It might be a little smoother if we do it this way, or more efficient or more productive. I'm always about innovating on process now and how things can be done better. And for whatever reason, and maybe it's just life experience at this point, I see things that other people don't necessarily see in their businesses, particularly. And I offer these suggestions that lead to solving problems and eliminating roadblocks and end up creating organic opportunities for the businesses to grow.
Sometimes they don't even know what their problem is, right? So they come to you, they say, it's just not working. So what's the sort of the process that you use to sort of uncover what their problem is? And then, of course, obviously, how to solve it.
Right. And actually, that's a very big point that you bring out, that most businesses don't know what their biggest problem is. And that is their biggest problem, not being able to identify that. So, and obviously, I don't know immediately. So my first step is I get on a Zoom usually with them and we have a conversation. I ask some questions and I let them talk and I listen a lot and I take notes and I ask more questions and I dig a little deeper. And if they're with me on a formal business assessment, then I actually have a structure that I follow. And I have 25 questions that we work through that begin with things as basic as, do you know how much money you need to make for your business to be living the lifestyle that you want, all the way up to, are you having an impact in your community? Right. And so we go through those and I listen and take notes. And as they share, things will surface. I actually had a call like that with a client this morning. And they're like, we're desperate. We need to get more clients in. The pandemic is killing us. And I'm like, I get that. I totally get that. And they said, well, we just want to send out this email blast. We're sure that will get us more business. And I'm like, I'm not sure that will get you more business. What you really need is a solid marketing plan so that you can have a strategy that you can enact over time consistently, raise your SEO, bring in more of your ideal clients and so on. And I'm fortunate that they did listen. Sometimes people are like, well, no, I just need you to send out this email blast for me. Start an email campaign. I'm sending out specials. Well, I don't know about you, but when I start getting those, I start unsubscribing. So we go through the questions and the conversation, and depending on where we are in the process, I can give them a very detailed report, and they can DIY the results and say, okay, Sandee says my business's most vital needs are here, so I'm going to fix these things. Or they say, I am so busy running my business, I don't have time to do this on my own. Can you help me? And then I take the next step and become a business advisor to them, and I coach them through the process to fix whatever the obstacles are so they can level up.